Good day everyone, you're welcome to Elvila Couture YouTube channel. Thank you once again for stopping by. I want to say a big thank you to all of my subscribers. Today we are going to be making a ladies trouser. Please, if you find this video useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can also share with your schoolmates. So without much further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So right here, I've already drawn out a vertical line down to the end of the pattern paper, and I also drew a horizontal line. It's my waistline. So all the horizontal measurements, I'm going to be imputing them from this line. The measurements I will be taking here is waist to hip line, which is 8. Place that same measurement here as well. Then I will square it up into a straight line. So this is waist to hip line. Next measurement is going to be the crotch measurement. And the crotch measurement I have here is 10 inches. So this is 10 inches. Place the measurement here as well. Then I'll roll it out into a straight line. So this is the crotch line. For the thigh measurement, it's usually between 2.5 inches to 3 inches. I will be using 3 inches. I'll square it up. Next measurement is the knee length. The knee length is 21. I also make it into a straight line. So this is the knee length. Here is the thigh length. So the length of the trouser is 41 inches. So I'll roll that out as well. Then I'm going to be taking 2 inches for folding. So once I'm done with that, on this waist to hip line, I'll be imputing 1/4 of the hip measurement. So the hip measurement is 44 inches. So divided by 4, that will be 11 inches. So I'll mark 11 inches on the waist to hip line. I'll take that same 11 inches on the crotch line. So I will come over to the waistline and I will also impute the hip measurement on the waistline. That's 11 inches. Next thing is to connect these marks I made now from the crotch line to the waist. So once I'm done with that, I will be taking 1/4 of the waist measurement on this waistline. So I'll be taking the measurement from this line. I will measure it in. That is 39 inches. Divided by 4, it will be 9 3/4 inch. So on this part, I'll come here and mark the 9 3/4 inch. Mark it here. So I'll be using a dart of 1 inch. So I'll place my darts here. So once I'm done with that, I will just connect it from here down to the waist to hip line. So the next thing I will be doing now is to measure on the waist to hip line. I'll divide it by 4. I have 11. So when I divided by 4, I have 2 3/4 inch. So I'll be placing that outside the crotch line, like so. Done with that, I just measure up here 1.5 inch. Draw a curved line from here upward. So the essence of taking that 1.5 inches so you don't draw your curve to be too deep. The next thing now is to measure up here to here. That's the crotch line. So I measure it up like so. What I got here is 13 3/4 inch. When you divide that by 2, you have 6.7. So we're going to mark it up here. Then I will take that 6.7 inches mark. So from this end, I will measure 6.7 as well. So I'm just going to be taking that 6.7 measurement to the length. This is going to serve as our center point. So I'm just going to use my yardstick to make these marks into a straight line. The next measurement now is to impute the dart. I'll be using the dart's height of 4 inches. Went ahead, I took the dart length of 4 inches. Then I took 1/2 inch on both sides of the line. So next thing now is to connect the darts to the 4 inches. Next is to impute the thigh measurement, and the thigh measurement is divided by 2. The thigh measurement I have is 25 inches. When you divide 25 by 2, that will give us 12.5. So I will divide this 12.5 by 2. That will give us 6.2. 6.25. So I'm going to be placing 6.25 inch on this side, the other 6.2 inches on this other side. The next thing now, the round knee. The round knee is divided by 2. So I have 18 inches as the round knee. When you divide that by 2, that will give us 9 inches. So I'm going to be dividing the 9 inches on both sides. So 9 inches divided by 2, that will give us 4.5. I'll mark the 4.5 inches here, and I'll mark the 4.5 inches here as well. Then I'll go over to the round knee. The round knee is 12 inches. Divided by 2 is 6 inches. So I will divide that 6 inches by 2 also. So I'll place 3 inches here. I'll place 3 inches on this other side. So the next thing now is to connect all these marks together. Use my yardstick and connect it to the ankle length. So on this part here, I will make a dotted line. Then I'll just be adding 1/4 inch outward. So I will connect it like so. Here also I will make a dotted line. Then from this dotted line, I will mark outward 1/4 inch. Then I'll connect it also like so. Now the reason for doing that is so that when you start hemming the trouser, you won't fall short of fabric. So we are adding a pocket to it. I will just, on this line here, I'll be marking 5.5 inches. This is going to serve as the pocket opening. Then I will connect it from here to the waistline. So from this dart, I will just mark away from the dart. I will mark 1/4 inch away from the dart. Then I want my pocket length to be 11 inches. So I just measured 11 inches here. So I'll make it into a straight line. Then I'll connect from the 1/4 inch, connect it straight down to the length of my pocket. And I'll just curve this part. So this is my pocket. Let me just label it. This is my pocket. So when I'm going to show you how to cut it. So guys, here we have it for the front panel. So we'll go over to cut the back panel. Come back, guys. I hope you've subscribed. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, please, I beg you, subscribe so we grow this channel together. I still want to thank you for staying here with me. So let's proceed to the back panel. So for the back panel, what I just did here is to place the front panel on a fresh pattern paper. So I just went ahead and used my pencil to trace out the mark. So I will just draw it out again so you don't get confused. So here is the waistline, here is the crotch line, here is the thigh line, here is the knee line. So right now I'll just draw out the lines just to keep us back to track. This is the knee, this is the thigh, this is the crotch, and this is the waist to hip line. The next thing is to measure from this line to here. You measure it up. I have 4 inches here, so you mark the midpoint. Then onto the crotch line, measure out 2 inches. Measure out 2 inches here. And you roll it out. Then the next thing is to come down from this 2 inches mark, is to come down by 1/2 inch. Just make a mark there. From the front crotch, extend the crotch for the back by 2 inches. Once you're done with that, you come down by 1/2 inch. Then once I'm done doing that, so the next thing I want to do now is to measure from this front crotch to here. So I measure it up here. I have 2.5 inches. So on this mark that we gave, here, I will just measure up the 2.5 inches I got here. So this is 2.5 inches. Once I'm done with that, and I measure what I have for the front waist. I have 10/6/8. So from this line, I'll just be imputing that 10/6/8. The back waist should be slanted, not straight. You measure up here 2 inches here. I'll give a mark there. Then I'm going to be connecting from here to here. Then I'll connect it to here. and up to this part. So I'll draw it straight up here. So the next thing I will be doing now is to take the dart. I'll be taking 4 inches here. 4 inches. Take the 4 inches mark here. I'm going to connect it like so. So the dart I'm using is 4 inches. So this is 4 inches. I'll take ½ inch on both sides. ½ inch here and ½ inch here. So the dart for the back panel is not straight. So from this top end, just take 4 inches. It's 4 inches I use for the front panel. So you take your 4 inches mark here. So the next thing I want to be doing now, from this tie line, I'll be marking 1 inch. So the length of the trouser. So from here now, just connect it. On this other side as well, I'm taking 1 inch. From the nail, take 1 inch. And on this side, I'll just curve it out. Okay, so I went ahead to cut it out. So this is what we have here for the back panel. So when you're cutting on your fabric, you're just going to be adding ½ inch seam allowance all around the pattern paper. Alright guys, here we call it a day on today's tutorial. So in our next video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut the pocket for the front. Remember, we drafted for our pocket, so I'm going to be showing you how to cut out the pocket and how to cut the band. And on this pattern drafting, I didn't draft for zipper allowance. So in our next video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut your zipper flap and also how to trace this front and back panel on your fabric. So please subscribe so that you get to see this video. Put on the notification bell like button so you'll be the first to get notified each time I upload a new video. So thank you so much guys, I really appreciate you. Once again, I say big thank you to my subscribers. Until I come your way again, stay safe and stay healthy.